Let's do some Nutoning here. We're going to address a couple common issues with Nutones. This is a brown sea island. I do like sea islands a lot, but they're a spinner motor, as you can see, with a Fasco or Emerson type flywheel stuck on it. This one, the motor seems to be loose in the housing. We're going to worry about that another time. I think it was dropped. So one of the most common issues with Nutones is that the switch housing is loose. So I've already taken it off so you can see there's a rubber grommet here that goes bad with age. And that's why the switch housing gets loose, because it's looking for that additional space to be filled there, and it's not. And you can see the hole in the switch housing is bigger. So if you really want to do it right, you have to actually replace that grommet with either a reducing washer. Nylon bushing would be fine. You could use another rubber grommet. It'll last however long it lasts. I've never done it the right way yet. What I've done every time is I've just simply put it all back together and just cranked down like crazy on the nuts and washers that are in there. And you can get it tight so long as you remove every trace of that rubber washer, because otherwise what happens is you tighten it and then that rubber washer, the pieces either press or expand or they just disintegrate and now it's loose again. So I'm going to do that later because I need both hands for that. Other thing I wanted to address is what did I lose? Light wire, doesn't matter. I wanted to look at the wiring because we never know how these are wired. And so we're going to look here. What do we got? We got two reds, but one of those is for the light. We got a brown. We got two whites. One of those comes from the supply. And two blacks. One of those comes from the supply. So I really wish I had multiple hands. That would be helpful. Because I want the hard part is figuring out which ones are the supply wires, which ones are the motor wires. And the easiest way to do that is simply just to pull on it and look at the other end. So let's see here. Here's a white. Yep. So the white from the supply goes to this wire nut. Well, I should have figured that out easy. It's got a light. It's got the light white on it. So that's fine. The black, is this the black supply? Looks like it. The black from the supply goes to the transformer. Let's just double check. The other black, nope, not from the supply. Okay, so we're going to follow it from hot to neutral. Black from the supply goes first to the transformer. So the transformer is actually hot all the time. That's interesting. And the transformer goes out blue, and blue actually becomes black from the pull chain. Is that labeled with L1, 1, 2, 3? It is not. You'll have to see another one of my videos with Nutone pull chain replacement so you can see. But I'm going to assume that that's L since it's black. So then red from the transformer goes to blue from the pull chain, which we'll assume is 1. And then 2. So this is actually our hot to the motor. It comes out of the pull chain red. And our hot, now it's switched, so we've got either full power or reduced power through the transformer. Goes to white from the motor. And also goes to white on the reverse switch, which is a center on one side of it. Okay? So that's where I guess we're powering both coils that way. Both coils are getting reduced power through the transformer. And then, so then that's going on one side of the reverse switch, it's white. And then depending on which direction it's going, either it goes to red, which goes to red from the motor, or it goes to brown, which is through the cap to brown from the motor. Okay, so it looks like brown is one coil and red is the other one. I'll have to actually draw a schematic to really know what this is doing. So then on the other side of the reversing switch we have black, which comes from neutral. Okay, yeah, so what this is doing is just yep, there's two coils. It's a two-coil motor. And one of those coils is hot all the time. That's getting, well, not hot all the time, but you know, yeah. I'm tired, I'm saying things wrong. One of the coils is getting just power all the time, that's what you get, and that's going to the white wire. And the other one, the polarity of it is being switched. That's the auxiliary coil, and that's going through the capacitor, which in this case is 4.5 microfarads. So, looks like the main coil is white, and let's see here, white and where's the, here we go. White and black is the main coil, that makes sense. And then the auxiliary coil is red and brown. So, brown auxiliary coil gets power through the capacitor on the, and then yeah, just the polarity of it switches depending on what direction you want the fan to go in. So just I'll go over it again for those who didn't follow. Hot enters in, goes to the transformer, comes out the transformer, goes to the pull chain, comes out the pull chain via red, which I'm assuming is 2. We'll have to look at another one where the pull chain is marked, and goes out of the pull chain to white from the motor, and then to white from the reverse switch. And then comes out of that reverse switch, red from the reverse switch, red to the motor, brown from the reverse switch, goes to the cap, which then goes to brown from the motor. And then the only wires remaining that we have are the black wire from the motor, which goes to neutral. And neutral also goes to the other side of the reverse switch. So the reverse switch has on one side of it hot through the transformer and pull chain, the other side of it neutral. So that should be enough information to hook up your Nutone, hopefully. So it's really not that complicated. It's the only thing that's complicated about it that's different than any other motor is the frickin' transformer, which I hate. You guys know I hate transformers, right? And the fact that the pull chain is a 3-wire pull chain, but L is not hot. You know, it's backwards. Hot goes to the transformer and then comes out again through, I believe, 2. So that's the only thing that's confusing. And then the whole reversing section of it is just like any other motor that has a dedicated aux coil, as opposed to switching back and forth where one coil is the main coil, one coil is the aux coil, and they switch depending on which direction you want it to go. Yeah. So Nutones aren't as bad as I originally thought. If you're missing the transformer, or the transformer is bad, then you would just connect black from the supply to both red from, either you can connect it to this red, or you can either connect it to white from the motor and white from the reverse switch, and then control speed some other way. You could do that. I've already tested this one and it works, so I just need to put it back together, and I'm going to do that now, and then we'll have some Nutonage. So thanks for watching. Hey guys, here we have a Nutone Sea Island in brown. I just did a video where I showed you how to fix a couple of the common issues with these. One, I talked about the loose switch housing, and then 2, we just went through the wiring, because these use a slightly less common wiring scheme. Like the last couple fans I tested, these use a transformer for medium and low. And I think the transformer in this one is bad, and I'll show you why. There's just very little difference between the speeds. So we'll start it off on low. Hitting the high switch over here, it's on low on the pull chain. Oh, no, now it's fine. I don't know what it was before, 0.4. Maybe there's something loose in there. I tested it before, and there was a very little difference between medium and low, but now this is a normal low speed for this. What else was I going to talk about? I got real sidetracked by that. This is a 84 model with the black stamped motor. The earliest imported Nutones had black cast motors, then they had gold stamped motors, and then black stamped motors. This is the black stamped motor. And we talk about some Nutones being fast and some being slow. The gold ones are typically fast. The cast ones are typically slow. This one seemed a little slow, so I switched the cap. The cap that was in it it's a 4.5 microfarad, and it measured out at about 4.3. So that's slightly low, but not egregious. But I just put a 4.5 in there that measures 4.5. And now it hits the... so low again. Well, it's 0.4. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired and hallucinating. So medium, 0.53. And, yeah, lost my train of thought there for a second. But, it's rated at 0.75, and with the correct value cap, it nails 0.75 on high. So that's one thing you can check out if you've got a Nutone that seems slow. If it's they should draw right about at the rated current. So this one is not, I wouldn't call this slow or fast. This is, you know, slightly slower than a really good K55 style fan. But it's not like, oh my god, that's noticeably slow. That's kind of about an Emerson high speed, really, because Emerson, even with their K55 fans, has a little bit slower high. Yeah, still does the, still fits in with the rest of the K55 type fans, even though it's a spinner motor. In terms of airflow back here, it's comparable to any K55 fan that we've tested recently. So it just doesn't fly like the Hacienda did. So yeah, medium, low, off. If I had to wager a guess, I'd say, okay, cast Nutone slow, other than the industrials. And really, those 48-inch industrials do not fly. Those could stand to go a little faster for my tastes. Cast Nutone slow, gold stamp motor fast, black stamp motor average. So, be interested in comparing the years too. I need to see if there's a year on. It's funny, the only ones I have with the gold motor are Haciendas. No, I've got a gold motor Sea Island somewhere in storage. I've never tested it though. It's interesting because even their American-made fans, they use different motor types that had different speeds. They just didn't seem to care about being consistent. Low reverse, 0.44. So it looks like it's going to draw a little more in reverse. Medium reverse, 0.59. I've talked in previous videos, I'll mention it again. My childhood Sea Island, I did definitely see these at my child. Yep, 0.79 on high reverse, so faster and high reverse. I did see these as a child. My favorite one, the one that I remember, was in the window of a store downtown. It was brown and brass with white blades and a bell canopy. One of the oddest finish combinations I've seen. So let's cut the power, put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it. Yeah, I know, that was dumb, and no, none of you probably get that reference anyhow, because none of y'all listened to hip-hop in the 90s. So, Missy Elliott. Okay, I was pretty close that time. 1 microfarad. 2. 3. Wow, didn't think it would take this much. 4. I really like Sea Islands in the proper setting. Ooh, really? Was not expecting that either. 5.27 is what it takes to get this going. And that's, the bearings tested good, and the cap is new. That's a good low speed though with the 5, so I guess that's what it is. Yeah, I like Haciendas in the right setting. Restaurant that's not too fancy, you know, store of the same variety, or store where you need residential looking fans but nothing too fancy. I've seen them in master bedrooms, and that's fitting to me if it's like not a big or fancy master bedroom, you know, like a real modest house. 6.32, 7.38, 8.43, 9.48, 10.52. So here's medium with the Nutone wall control. Maybe over a kitchen table, or over the dining room table again in a like kind of a farmhouse kind of thing, something that's not too fancy. 12.56, 13.5. Sorry about that, guys. My wife called me in the middle of the video. I don't always put my phone on airplane mode because I'm uploading videos while I'm filming them and blah blah blah. And yeah. So anyhow, where are we at? We're at 14 is where we left off. 15.65. Oh, wow, that's okay. 17.69. 20.74. That's awfully close. Yeah, we're going to stop there. So I'll let it spin down just because this is going to be a second half of the video. So there'll be a part 1 and a part 2. And at some point I'll probably join them together and make one long video. But in the meantime, this way you get a spin down in both. Because I know how people like spin downs. I was very confused at why the filming stopped, because it stopped filming and then there was like a few second pause before my phone started ringing. I'm like, did my battery die? Did I run out of space? None of those things should be true. Okay, it's a solid state. It took a while for it to start with the capacitor, so I guess it'll take a while for it to start. Where are we at? 0.22? Seems like there's a spot that's catching. That could either be a dead spot in the rotor or it could be a rough spot in the bearing. But I can see it. I'm having trouble. 1/8 of a turn, 0.27. It's a little buzzy. 1/8 of a turn, 0.4. In my opinion, these look appropriate with a schoolhouse globe. 1/8 of a turn, 0.56. High, 0.72. That's a powerful fan. These flies are still up here. I'm going to have to get some fly paper, unless just the cold kills them. Once it gets cold, I don't know if I want to wait that long. This is what I was going to film until I saw this. This was actually sitting on my workbench waiting for me to work on it. And I was like, well, let me just see what it needs. And then when I figured out what it needed, I'm like, well, let me do a video demonstrating how to fix these issues. Because all it really needed was the switch housing tightened, but I figured while I had it open, I would walk through all the wiring. First, I was going to just make notes for myself of how to wire them up in the future. I'm like, no, let's do a video for people. And, yep. Okay, 0 to high. Interesting that it goes straight to 0.75, because with no blades, it went to 0.79 and then dropped. I'm going to try. I don't think I have enough hands for that. I was going to try holding it stalled and then checking the current, but I think I won't be able to see the ammeter and definitely won't be able to hold the camera, and this will be too complicated. I'll do that sometime. Remind me to do that on a fan when Metal Pete and or Andy are here. Any of the usual suspects. So, okay, well that's it for the Sea Island. And, yep, one more fan tonight.